With Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center here in studio. If you're watching on social media, thank you. Feel free to share this out. Let us know what you have going on today. Don't forget to subscribe to the Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center podcast. You can search Living Well on any platform that you get your podcast on. Dr. Chapa, I'm going to kick this on the FM. We're going to have some fun. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. My name's Gardy, and I have Dr. Chapa in studio. What's up, Dr. Chapa? How you doing?
Oh, Gardy, it's good to be here as usual. You know, it's been pretty dang hot out there in the summer. And we've gotten a little bit of rain here coming in to the, to I guess, kind of get us out of that dry spell. But, it's been it was nice last night sitting out on the back porch. I got home late, but it was just nice getting out there and just settling. And it was a little bit breezy and felt good. And I was wondering if it was from that little scattered shower I saw. It was only like 10 minutes, but it was good. It's good. How's your summer going?
Hey, summer's going. It's going good. The weeks keep going by quicker, and my wife's like, when's school start? And I'm thinking the same thing, but it's already time. Yeah. A couple weeks.
I mean, yeah, it's not right around the corner. I got teachers that are like, oh, man, I'm not ready for it to start yet. But, yeah, it's coming, and we've got to make sure that we are, doing our part to take care of our health and doing what we can each and every day to maximize this going into the change of season. But man, I mean, yeah, we got a lot of great things happening over at the office. Really excited. We're, I think we've been there about 4 weeks now at the new office.
Is it broken in? Y'all got the hang?
And we are still, I think, getting the hang of things. And so we're excited about continuing down that path and trying to maximize efficiency. It's a little different flow. It's a little bit different square footage to manage. And so, we're doing the best we can and having fun in the process of learning all the little ins and outs and idiosyncrasies of this new building. I mean, I used to be able to hear things all throughout the clinic. Now, I can't quite hear things as much. I got insulated walls. I got better, insulation everywhere. And so I really have to just trust, the process. And but, man, we're launching off our Detox Center. We have our Hydra Massage Beds in full effect. People are really digging that. Hydra Massage is a very effective way to massage the body without having to, spend hours on the front end, back end of prepping for, massage. Nothing takes away the human element of massage. But whenever you are wanting just to kind of chill and relax and disconnect for 10, 20, 30 minutes, man, it's just a great way. This Hydra Massage Bed is a lounge chair. And you just sit back, and I can just visualize myself just drifting off into the white noise of the machine running and pounding, pressure, hot water pressure into your back and your low and your glutes and your hamstrings and your calves and your upper neck, and it feels good. I think we should do the next radio show lounged up.
The description, it sounds good to me. Yeah, I was like, keep going, Dr. Chapa. That feels good.
Why didn't we think about this, Gardy? We didn't think about this as effectively as we could have, but. We welcome people to come and do those treatments before and after or during the week. If you need a little, hey, I got an ache or a pain, or, man, I just need to relax and de-stress, we got a little space for you carved out where you can kind of disconnect and just melt away. And the Hydra Massage Bed is just a cool, effective way to make that happen. And of course, if you're injured or anything like that, it's a very nice benefit. And then we have our detox foot bath room where, again, we still have lymphatic massage happening in there while the foot bath is happening now. So it's not just a foot bath. Now we're actually massaging the lymphatics, pushing trash through the body through these chairs that will help the body just detox. So, in the Detox Center at Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center, it's a focus of mine to always help the body get rid of waste, debris, trash, unwanted sediments that the body can't manage. And the body should be able to manage most of these things, except that it can't always, right? And so we know that if in our experience over the last 17 years, that if you're not detoxing in the 21st century, you're missing a huge healthcare piece. And so, this month in July, we've launched the inflammation detox, the blood sugar detox, the cellular detox with our team leads, Molly and Renee and Greg, and we're all learning, to integrate this 42 days a year of detoxification into our lives. And when people take advantage of the leadership and let us lead them down the detox path and the de-inflammatory path and the cellular cleansing path, good things happen. It's like dropping cinder blocks into your metabolic, health wake. You get that ripple effect that lasts, months on end, where you're cognizant, you're focused, you're appreciative of food being your medicine. And you're allowing food to help you move onward, upward, goodward, and Godward, because cellularly your cells need nutrition. And most of the things that people, when they're stressed out, overworked, whenever they're just burdened because they got a bad night of sleep, or maybe they even got a newborn at home, a good thing. It's not even a burden. It's just the nature of some of these kids coming out of the womb haven't found their routine yet. They sleep all day and play all night, and mom and dad pay the piper for that, and so maybe they're reaching to energy drinks and they're reaching to stimulants and they're doing different things that what they need to do to get through their day, but it's costing them on the nutritional side. So they've got to get back to eating well and cleansing well, and when they take the time to cleanse, it deburdens the body. And when we take the time to deburden the body, all of a sudden our cells communicate with each other better because they're not having to play telephone with little, heathens that don't want to play and not communicate the message of cellular support or cellular mitochondrial energy production. And so, coming into the detox center just gives you passive ways, active ways of drawing out toxins from your body. And, so one of the other big cool things going on in the detox room is, we have the cold low laser light therapy. Some people call it photobiomodulation. That's kind of like the new age term. I was raised calling red light therapy or laser therapy, or low level laser therapy, light therapy, and which means that these aren't like laser blasters from Star Wars that you can burn a hole through your your body and melt from the inside out. Thankfully, that would be bad, but they are highly effective in their ability to improve blood flow and decrease inflammation and improve mitochondrial stimulation. And so we have we have 2 infrared sauna units where we can have people come in and they can take a seat and just go, again, into this place of solitude for a multitude of reasons. I mean, how many people today probably could benefit from a little bit of solitude away from the hustle and bustle of the world? It's no longer hustle and bustle of the holidays, right? It's hustle and bustle of the world. I mean, we're constantly being pursued in the busyness of life, and the busyness is overtaking many of us, and our ability to manage that stuff is harder and harder and harder. And I even sense it and feel it, that lurking busy monster, trying to, is number one, a place where you can kind of drift off and melt away. And it helps you just to reset your thinking and reset your mind. And that, I think, is a very good place to start, because you're only limited by your thinking and your mind. And you have, if you take time to pray and meditate and breathe and disconnect a little bit, it's like a reset button. And mentally, emotionally, you will get great reward for just taking a moment and hitting that big easy button of disconnect. But finding that space in and through our day is not easy.
I was gonna say, you're not gonna do it on accident. You have to do it on purpose. You have to plan for it. It's almost like eating. Even if you're unplugged, hey, I'm gonna put the cell phone away, because there's things, the TV's on, you walk in, everything's trying to get your attention, and it's very easy to get distracted. But to be able to unplug, like you said, you have to do it on purpose and almost plan for it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you come into the office and you'll see where the infrared sauna room is, I mean, it's a clean space where you can clear your thoughts, you can escape from the hustle and bustle of the world, and then you go into the infrared therapy lounge. And when you sit down in this infrared lounge, you sit back and there's several heating elements that are infrared based. So hot boxes like your standard sauna that has a little metal rock system at the front that's just putting off mounts and mounts of heat, dry heat, it can be very beneficial. But they've found that ambient temp heat only penetrates about a quarter of an inch, maybe a half inch if you're lucky, but I'd venture to say it's more on the quarter inch side. It's very narrow margins. And when you shift into what we call infrared therapy, and this is what we're doing and talking about a little bit, is low-level therapy or red light therapy or photobiomodulation, you're seeing that the penetration of frequency into the body is much deeper. It's almost 2 to 2.5 inches from the surface of your skin. So it penetrates through the muscles and warms the muscles up. It stimulates the muscle spindle cells and the Golgi tendon organs to move more freely by putting more blood flow in there. It activates fibroblasts or the fibrous building blocks to come into effect to rebuild tissue at the surface level. It allows any injuries that are even down into the joint capsules where you're like, let's just look at your spine, for example, and you think of this red light infrared therapy being able to penetrate 2 inches, 2.5 inches in. It's very easily getting all the way down to the disc space. And so, of course, it's going into not just the muscles and helping regenerate those tissues. And through better blood flow stimulation and better mitochondrial stimulation, which basically what this infrared light is doing and red light therapy is doing is it's penetrating and hitting the mitochondria of the cells. And you have mitochondria in your muscle cells and your intestine and all your organ cells and your fibrous ligamentous cells and bone cells. I mean, these tissues have their own little cell matrices, these building blocks, these cells butted up together to create whatever tissue that we're talking about, whether it's bone or ligament, or soft tissue, or organ tissue. And if we can stimulate those little mitochondria to be more abundant, that's like having more money. The more money you have, the more options you seem to have, correct? Well, the infrared and red light therapy produce cellular money. And so with more cellular money, you can repair, you can detox, you can regenerate, you can slow down the inflammatory process. Well, how many people are walking around today with ailments of sort? They have headaches, which is just a sign that their brain is inflamed, right, in some capacity. How many people have autoimmune conditions? Well, that's an advanced inflammatory condition, right? So, I mean, it's just further down the road when it comes to the immunity. How many people have shoulder pain, just simple joint pain, elbow pain, hand, wrist pain, back pain? This device and tapping into frequency medicine. I remember, growing up with Dr. Goodhart, George Goodhart, and George Gonzalez, and these guys would talk about light therapy, and even go back into ancient times that we would call ancient times, where people would sit in the sunlight, and the sunlight gives this healing effect to our bodies, and so we start appreciating that at different places on the light spectrum there is an ability for the body to receive light frequency, and so the body, in some of these guys' opinion, communicates in abundance of light therapy. Oh, that's really neat, because being a Christian man, God is light, and He provided light to the world. Wherever His light is, darkness flees. I mean, I think there's so much good that comes from the light, and so we are always looking at our body as it's 70% water, or at least it should be. Most people are walking around less than that because they're dehydrated, their minerals are off, they're nutritionally deprived, they're full of toxins, full of infections, and their hydration rate is down, and their body is retaining fluid on the wrong side of the cell. So they have pruny grapes for cells. Inside the cell is inefficient and ineffective. Outside the cell is retaining fluid and retaining waste, because nature's solution to pollution's dilution. So the body's actually holding the wrong distribution of water inside and outside the cells. And so we're always trying to figure out, how can we help a person get those toxins down, and how can we get a person to get their nutrient replenishment levels up, saturating the tissues so that the body cellularly is plump, not plump in the form of like, oh, I don't want to be plump, Chop. But cellularly, you want to be plump, because that means that your cells can be efficient and function in a way that they were designed to, and at top level efficiency. Not this, oh, well, I'm old and decrepit, or my brain's just getting slower and slower every terrible night of sleep I get. And all the symptoms that they have. And so we use this light therapy, this red light therapy, this photobiomodulation, to help stimulate mitochondria. And those mitochondria, just like the sun, this light therapy, just like the sun, stimulates our cells to produce cellular energy. And so this is just again a passive way to tap into this. Of course, we do this with nutrition. One of our products we use at the office called Energy Force, Cellular Vitality. It's amazing what we can do, emotionally, chemically, physically, to stimulate cellular production of ATP so that the body can turn over healthier cells and then discard old, worn out cells. I mean, do you want to have an old, worn out car?
I'd prefer a new one.
Me too. And one with good tires and a fresh oil change, and a fresh paint job and good inside interior, and one that's got updated shocks and it runs effectively. Well, if your body is not producing the ATP that it needs because it's deficient or toxic or inefficient, well, guess what? You can turn that around. And instead of being on the accelerated aging course or on the inflammatory course, you can turn your health picture around by just getting involved in some of these therapies. Some people I'm just not in a position where I can go to the gym and work out. I'm just not healthy enough for that. Okay, well, what can you do? Can you go for a walk? Oh, that takes a lot of wind too, because they've gotten themselves in a real, pickle. I mean, we can take this down to the extreme, or, where somebody has a very hard time in mobility and movement, and we can put them in the infrared red therapy box and get them chilling in that lounge and let their body cellularly begin to turn on in a passive way. Or if you're a superior athlete, rest is important, right? I mean, we can't just go. We can't keep just working the same muscle group every day, back to back to back. Well, our joints need rest and reconditioning. Well, improving blood flow is one of the fastest way to get reconditioning and regeneration. And so the being inside the red light and infrared therapy lounge or infrared saunas, it allows you to find that space where your body, wherever your need is, will be received at the depth it needs to be received. So instead of just trying to heat you up, at a quarter to half inch, we can get down 2 to 2.5 inches into your body, all the way down to the cellular mitochondria. And the mitochondria is the message here. We want to make sure that, as light energy can turn, or solar energy can be used as electrical energy, light frequencies can stimulate your cells, and that's what we want to see people experience, because who doesn't want more radiant, beautiful skin?
I think everybody could enjoy that.
So
right?
they've done studies where they took red light therapy and put it on one side of the face with people that had some pretty extreme skin conditions. And they were shocked that even though they shined the red light and infrared light on one side of the skin, not only did they see a massive improvement in that one area, on the other side of the face that did not get direct impact received benefit. It wasn't quite as much of the direct impact, but it was still beneficial because of the penetration and the depth and the waking up of cellular energy throughout the tissues. And it's like that ripple effect we talked about earlier. Whenever you do a good thing for your body, like a detox, when you take your supplements, vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids, you're getting your calcium levels up and saturated, and you're getting your circulating C level activating all the, the immune terrain in your body. All of a sudden, all the cells wake up. So even in the case of this lady who had this study where they were studying just one side of their face, both sides benefited, even though one side got direct impact and one side did not. So that's indirect healing because of systemic cellular upregulation. So full body stimulation of the cells turned on the healing and regenerative power all throughout. And the nice thing about the lounge is you're not just targeting one area, we're targeting your whole body. I mean, all the way down to your feet. We got heating, the infrared elements that are in the lounge space that will allow your full body, your back. I've had, we can put patients that have tumors or cancer, and we can turn them, we can focus the infrared on a particular area of their body. Yes, they're going to get full body regardless, but man, if I had something going on in my chest, I'd want to have my chest as close to the infrared elements as possible, because I want to maximize blood flow. I want to maximize that turnover of bad cells, get rid of the old, right? We don't want the old car. We want the new, updated version, the more luxurious version. And so it's a regenerative, restorative, detoxifying effect that deburdens the body, that lifts the body, that activates the body so that the body can perform at astronomical levels. So the infrared, can get in there and do that type of work for people.
Here's a question that came in. They want to know, how often can they do it?
They can do it every day. If you have the time, you could do the infrared saunas every day. And we would totally, we hope to see people being able to do that. Now, on average, twice a week would be wonderful, right? Once a week would be wonderful, because at least at that point, you're going to get a several-day benefit. Again, the ripple effect of change by upregulating those cells. And then when you incorporate this type of therapy with your nutrition plan, with your chiropractic plan, with your detox plan, think of the lasting effects at that point. So now, not only are you using the red light and the infrared light to retrain, okay? Red light, I think they used to call it in the insurance world red light neural integration or something like that, which means red light, the way I used to be raised in this, neural, that's nervous system, integration. You're integrating nerve cells. You're integrating the communication lines between your brain and your tissues, down into your fingertips, down in your feet, down into your organs, down into every cell structure that you have. And so the more frequently you do this, the more you are training those tissues and those cells to work like God designed them to. And then when you bring in biochemical modulation, when you change your diet, when you detox the toxins out of your system, it changes the way you think, because you start feeling good again, and you start going, you know what? I remember having brain fog. I remember not remembering names, numbers, and words all that well. I remember my creative juices not flowing, and all of a sudden now my system is running in a way that makes me feel alive. It gives me that vim, vigor, and vip that I always speak to, right? Who doesn't want to buzz and to feel alive and great all the way down to the cells, where in the morning when that alarm goes off, you have already gotten up because you beat the alarm. And that's a crazy way to think about waking up to the day. You're up 5 minutes, 7 minutes before your alarm, and you're looking at the alarm going, got you today. Not going, man, I woke up 7 minutes before the alarm. I wish I had 10 more to go.
Right.
How many people have such a hard time dragging themselves out of bed because their body did not do the necessary detoxification work during the night? It didn't do the regeneration work during the night. And so their body is behind the 8 ball, so to speak. And so having tools like this allows you to help improve the functionality of how the body's going to perform for you. And if you look at your body like an earth suit, like a car, and you're maintaining it, you're turning over those old, getting new tires, new shocks, new oil changes, new fluid repair or flushing, and you're getting the body updated. The body will then begin to function on its own and cleanse and repair things that you don't even know are broken right now. And that is, again, the part of the wellness journey. And that's why we, in this new space, I'm so excited because I wanted to give people another layer of detox. I sit and I'm going to teach this class this morning. Did you have a question, by the way?
Well, there's multiple. There's like three
hit 'em.
Three questions that have come in, and we can ask them one at a time.
Because I can just run my mouth, and people. I'd rather always receive and welcome y'all's questions. So please interrupt, and Gardy, please interrupt, because at the end of the day, this is y'all's show, right? I have a message I want to share, which is overall health, wellness, and vitality. But I want to hear what your insight, what you need, because what if I have something for you today, and I want to make sure you get it.
So here's some specific questions about the infrared sauna. They want to know, what if you don't sweat in a sauna?
That is not that is not an uncommon statement that people make. What we found is that people that they might not sweat the first 3 or 4 times that they do it. And that's because their body is learning how to detox again. Their body is going through the process of cleansing itself, and it has to be retrained. It's a sparring match. It is a training gym, and it is a place where your body internalizes and refocuses, and it says to itself, it goes, man, I don't actually know how to do this anymore. What that means is that you probably have an abundance of toxic buildup. You have funk and filth that your body cannot get rid of. Those are called toxins, anything that your body cannot use. But what will happen, the more you use the infrared saunas, especially if you're somebody that goes into a hot box, like again, the standard ambient, hot temperatured boxes at your local gyms and whatnot, and you aren't sweating in those, it's because your body, again, just doesn't know how to do it, and we can retrain it. It could be a nutrient issue, meaning your minerals are low, because you have to know that for every toxin that your body gets rid of. Now, again, toxin by definition is anything that your body cannot use, right? But if I could unitize toxins, for every toxin that your body gets rid of, you lose 2 to 3 minerals. So if your mineral levels are low to start, calcium, magnesium, iodine, selenium, zinc, iron, your ability to mobilize these toxins out, chaperoning, escorting these chemicals that are toxic to our body, that are foreign to our body, that are burdens to our body, if you don't have the mineral base to detox, that is a number one reason people cannot and do not sweat in an infrared sauna. But they will. I assure you, the more they go through the process, I would say it's almost a training and or an indicator that your toxic load is high and your body is strategizing. It's learning how to start mobilizing toxins out of the body if you continue doing the therapy.
Okay, another question. When can you start to see a difference in your skin?
You would start to see a difference, I would imagine, within a week. Because what happens in these studies that they've done is it is instantaneous. When the light starts hitting the cells, blood flow improvement is immediate. So when they've done before and afters, you can see after 20 minutes in the session that you can actually start seeing changes in how lush and plump and healthy, radiant the skin will be, because 1, we're improving blood flow. 2, we're improving mitochondrial function. That's the cell-to-cell communication in the tissue. And 3, we're getting rid of toxins out of the cells and extracellular space in those key areas. So, like, if you did it directly over the face, I would imagine within, if you did like maybe 2 or 3 sessions, I would think that you would start seeing change. But even beyond just what you notice on your skin, I think you would feel different. You go, oh my gosh, like, like I feel really good. I don't know how to put my finger on it, Dr. Chapa, but I mean, I feel different. And I mean, the way I would allude to it is I'm actually going through this right now is I don't know why I never did this in the past in my old office. I could have. I just didn't think about it. But I found this grounding mat that's basically leveraging the Schumann frequencies. Again, tapping into this frequency world, this frequency medicine, these electron fields of the earth to neutralize inflammatory responses in the body. So I have all my patients lay on these or sit on these while they're in my office while I'm working on them, and I found that when I'm touching their arm or poking on a reflex on their body, it grounds me like it's grounding them, and I'm noticing by the end of a workday, I'm not as mentally zonked. Well, that's a very interesting thought, and I'm legitimately, I've only been doing this for about 6 weeks, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, is it the fact that I don't have the burden of moving to the new office and wishing I was at the new office, and how am I going to do all the transition, that mental bandwidth stress, because that's a real burden, right? I don't want to give all the credit to this thing, but what if, because when you read all the research and you look at these people's testimonials, you start realizing, we do not tap into anti-inflammatory pathways enough. We're doing a lot of stuff to inflame our bodies and turn the heat up in a way that causes harm, not benefit. And but I would say that the same would be in the saunas. Is that what will happen? Is you'll begin to feel something different, see something different, and you'll go scratching your head, going, "Is it what I'm doing in the detox center at Living Well?" And I'm going to say, yes, it is. Because everything that you do to enhance your body's ability to get rid of toxins, stimulate the mitochondria, and activate blood flow is going to be a benefit to your body astronomically. And the more you're able to push those pathways, the healthier your body is in the long run.
Okay, another question. Does it work on birthmarks like a strawberry patch, or they said whatever it's called?
I think it will work. Again, it will work on the birthmarks. It would. I'm not 100% sure if it would completely alleviate the birthmark, but just like scars, right? A birthmark is like a conglomeration of cells together that kind of didn't adhere like they were supposed to, and there's a lot of ideas and rhyme and reason behind birthmarks, but I think that just like a scar, we can make scars improve. We could make a birthmark improve, but I have not done enough birthmark treatments to know if it would be a full, complete, and utter change, or if it would be subtle. But I definitely would say that, like, for example, the scarring C-section scars, tattoo scars, wound injury scars, surgical scars would all be improved. So I would imagine again that a birthmark would be improved as well.
Does it only work on the skin that is exposed? I know you were talking about targeting spaces earlier.
So So the answer is no, it will hit the body as a whole. So if I just take my red light infrared therapy little home units and put it on my right shoulder, for example, I'm going to improve blood flow. I'm going to decrease inflammation. I'm going to increase cellular turnover, the bad cells, and new cell regeneration. That's all going to happen in that area, right? But whenever you stimulate that efficiency in one area, it ripples, again, about 2 to 2.5 inches into the body. So being able to hit in one area and get that rippling effect to go towards the other side. So if I have it, if I just take my small handhelds and I put it up to my right side, it will push into the cells across the body. And when I put it to the other side, it will push to the cells across the body. So the closer you get to that 2.5 inches, it might be a little bit less, but man, you could. It will ultimately begin to affect all cells throughout the body, because when you start improving blood flow in one area, you're improving blood flow in all areas. Now, you might have an increased effect on mitochondria in one area, but again, I am a firm believer that when you start waking up multiple cells, they become synergistic in waking up other cells, and the team begins to work together. Shared goals build unity, and we are as a whole, our bodies are what you see before me is like a matrix of cells that have come together to formulate tissues and to formulate the organism that I am, like my earth suit is. And so every part of your body will be affected when you're in the presence of infrared, even if you just target an area. And so why do we target an area? Well, if it's the face, of course, we're trying to maximize that anti-aging effect of the face because, we all like our face. You know what I mean? That's what we got. But what if you had an injury? What if you had a tumor? What if you had an infection? So, whenever you light up the immune system with a red light infrared therapy, you're activating the trash system, the immune response, the macrophages to come in and clean house and chomp like Pac-Man, all the gunk and debris that's floating around that's allowing the infection to just, percolate and confuse the body. And so when you clean up the kitchen sink, the whole kitchen gets cleaned, right? Mm-hmm. And it is a proven fact. If your kitchen's dirty right now and you went home and you just clean the kitchen sink, meaning the way you clean the kitchen sink is you have to take dishes out of the sink, and then in order to put the dishes up, you either have to hand wash them and put them up, or you have to put them in the dishwasher, which means you have to empty the dishwasher. And so what begins to happen, it's just a natural process that when you start cleaning out the area, the immune system of the body will begin to clean up all areas of the body. Great questions.
That's awesome. That's all we have right now as far as questions go. If you're just now joining us, don't forget you can go back and listen to all the past episodes on the Living Well podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. However you get them, make sure you subscribe as well.
Man, I didn't realize. I mean, we're already 46 minutes into the show. This is pretty rad. I didn't mean to talk about infrared and red light therapy. I was thinking to myself, will I have enough to talk about just on this one subject matter? I mean, most of the time, I'm bouncing all around because I got so much I want to tell people. But I mean, thank you again for the questions. It makes it, I love seeing and hearing the interest that people have.
I have a question. So like infrared sauna, so the infrared is the light therapy, which you mentioned you can do and target, but you don't even have to do it in the sauna, right? You could do it.
Yeah. I have when you do a foot bath in our office, we also do red light and infrared and blue light therapy while you're in the detox room, in the foot bath room. And so we've been doing that for the almost 17 straight years in our clinic, as an add-on bonus therapy that we have. And so I use little red light and infrared lights in my treatment rooms. And there are only 4 diodes, which is just the actual light-emitting source, the diode, whether it's infrared, where that infrared, again, is just where is the infrared on the spectrum, where is red light on the spectrum, okay, and it's been used for years. If you take a flashlight or a flame and you put it up to your finger and then you cover it, the person on the other side will be able to see the red coming through. Why is that? Because the body is very, very penetratable when you're in that light spectrum, when you're in the red and infrared space. And so that's how you get that depth of stimulation. That's how you can maximize that cellular ATP production. That's how you can get better blood flow into a targeted area using it. So you do not have to. They sell infrared pads that you can lay on, that you can, headbands, eye coverings, face mask. I mean, they sell complete not hot, but red light panels, kind of like these soundproof panels, and you stand in front of it, almost like a tanning bed, but it's just tons and tons of red light and infrared light, depending on if it has that feature, to improve blood flow, to improve mitochondrial stimulation, and that's going to activate cells in the body to perform better. Again, the more cellular energy you have, the more efficient your cells are all throughout the body. Everybody communicates better. They say rising tides raises all ships, right? So if you start getting more and more healthy cells in one department, your body's going to start figuring out how to get healthier cells in all departments. And so you do not have to have a sauna per se, but the benefit of the sauna is twofold. Number one, it's a place where you can kick back, relax, and clear your mind, and just relax in your own, kind of set up space where you're chilling and going through what you need to do to reset and get ready for your week, a big event, a weekend, a crazy day, whatever. And it allows full body, stimulation. You're getting hit from multiple angles now instead of just targeting one particular area. But totally, you can target an area of the body and still have benefit and efficiency.
Okay, we have quite a few more questions that have come in now. Carla wants to know: do I need to call and set up a session, or can I just stop by? Is there a package session like you do for some of the other things y'all offer?
Yeah, so we're still working out some of those details. Right now, we sell them in 20-minute increments, and it's $1 a minute right now. And yes, if you would just give us a call so we can make sure that we have your room available, and we have 2 rooms, so we should be able to make it happen. And when we need just a little bit of time to make sure that the room is ready, is hot, and so we don't want any delay. And as we get busier, again, this is kind of our kickoff, right? We're starting to get the wheels on the ground and the traction. The machines will be potentially running all day long while we're having operating hours, which ultimately will allow you guys just to come in with your appointed time. And so right now you could probably call today and you could get in right now, because there's not a lot of people know we have the devices. But definitely make a call, 281-554-8600, and and get on the books and make it happen. You could get in there today.
Okay, so another one: do you extend the time each session and then also a certain time in between treatment?
Yeah, like for example, things I might allow my kids to do or myself to do wouldn't necessarily be what I would encourage other people to do. But like when we first got the machines, Lexi, my 10-year-old, was like, she goes, sounds fun, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so she invites some of her friends, and they do a session. And she was in there for 2 45-minute sessions at full capacity, and I think we got it up to like 150 degrees. So she was cooking, and it wore out. She slept hard that evening, and but she really liked it, and she did not sweat the first 45 minutes. That was what I think shocked me the most. Now that second 45 minutes, she started finally, clamming up and breaking a sweat. But no, we would start most people at 20 minutes, and we'd be between 105 to 120 degrees probably at that first start. Why? Because people do not appreciate the power of detoxification, right? Like if you detox too fast, whether you're doing a detox program, whether you're, even if I adjust too much in the first session, like there's certain adjustments I don't do when I start a patient chiropractically. If I was doing acupuncture, I wouldn't do everything on day one because the body isn't equipped to get rid of the waste debris, all that spin-off of trash that gets broken down. So we found that even in the detox foot baths, that sometimes we've even had to start people at 8 minutes, 10 minutes. And so even at 10 minutes, you're going to get therapy and benefit from being in the infrared box. But we do sell them in 20-minute in increments, because I believe 20 minutes is not it's not going to be too much, and it's going to be enough time that it's worth your time, right? And so we want to make sure that both of those facets are met. But as you go, I would say, like if you did 2 a week for, say, the first 4 weeks at 20 minutes, you could easily, I would even probably say 2, you could probably do 2 sessions at 20 minutes for 2 weeks, and then go to 40 at that point and see how your body does. And what you'll start noticing is when you start getting to the more frequency of time you're doing it, your body will start acclimating to, oh, this is how I'm supposed to play this game. I'm supposed to sweat while I'm in here. And so like when I go in there inside of 7 minutes, I'm already sweating. So I had one lady in there. We're just experimenting with friends and stuff like that. So, and it can hold like 4 people. And so you can bring a spouse, bring, a friend or a kid. Now, I mean, it is, per person coming in, it's, there is a charge for the therapy because everybody's getting the therapy. But we had 4 people in there, and it was interesting to see who sweated first. And we went 40 minutes, and one of the ladies didn't sweat at all. And you're like, wow, he must be really toxic, But we're just playing with them. But the truth is they are. That's their body's inefficiency, right? It should have. You should have been sweating. It should have been sweating, mm-hmm. But again, don't look at it like a bad thing. Look at it like an indicator that's a sign of need.
Yeah, people
so get after it.
Some people, I have a friend, he would call it like the meat sweats. Like he would just start sweating whenever he was eating. So he's probably thinking like, yeah, I'm not toxic.
Yes, right.
I got the meat sweats.
I'm just
right?
meaty.
Right. Okay, here's another.
That's
there was
funny.
A comment earlier from Michelle. She said that she had experienced it the other day and she slept really good that night. And so Solian wanted to know, is it true that you can sleep better having a red light in the room? Is that something that works?
So I wouldn't necessarily do red light in the room while I'm trying to sleep. I would do infrared, or I would do PEMF, or a grounding mat. So because what you don't want to do when you're sleeping per se. Now, again, if you fell asleep in the lounge space inside the sauna, that's okay, right? You're not looking to maximize that 8-hour, 6-hour, window of sleep that you're probably getting at night. What you don't want to do, even the little red dot on your fire extinguisher alarm detector in your ceiling, the blue light or red light on your TV in your bedroom, which, we shouldn't have one of those things in our rooms, but people do, right? But will stimulate the skin receptors and wake up parts of your system and activate your body to come alive and become sensitive now, light sensitive. So if you had red light therapy while you were sleeping, it would, again, if I had a cancer or a tumor, I might change my tune. Okay, I'd be sleeping under red light therapy and infrared therapy as frequently and often as I could, and I would, my body would just have to deal with it because I want that blood flow, I want that constant attention, that constant immune stimulation present in my system, right? Again, if you ask me one-on-one with a particular case study, I might have a different opinion. But in general, I think a grounding mat or a PEMF mat would be more effective in this case of using while you're in the sleeping state, those 6 to 8 hours, 9.5 hours of time that you allot to going to bed, okay? Because, again, we don't want to wake up the system as a whole. We want it to rest, regenerate, and heal while sleeping is a part of a necessary part of our health care. But if you did a infrared treatment in the sauna, say for 20, 30 minutes today or 40 minutes today, and I would say you're going to sleep better tonight than you did last night because you allowed your body to deburden itself of waste, trash, and debris. You increase blood flow to parts of your body that probably haven't gotten blood flow in a good, substantial amount in a good while. And you're, again, pushing the cell-to-cell communication, the cellular money transfer into the cells where your body can maximize detox efficiency so that by the time your liver has to go in and clean house, it's not having to convert toxins into water-soluble constituents that you can pee out, sweat out, breathe out, poop out. Instead, it's just transferring it into the waste pathways. It's just moving the trash, off the curb into the truck and getting ready for, toilet delivery first thing in the morning. How about that for a description?
That was pretty good.
I've never done that one before. That was fun.
I didn't write it down. I need to write it down.
It's okay. They can go back and listen, and you can just rewind it and say, "What did he say?"
Yeah.
So yeah, that is a very cool way to see if it will improve sleep, and no question it will. And
awesome.
And so I guess the last thing that we'll kind of cover before we shut down the show this morning is just appreciating that. At Living Well, we want to be your number one health and wellness resource. And we want to teach people how to live better, be better, stay better, one bite at a time. So we have, biochemical modulation with supplementation. We have diet programs, our MacroFix program that, we teach to all ages, teenagers to middle age to the, to every age. I mean, it doesn't matter. Everybody's confused about what to eat. Everybody needs a little education in what real foods are, what sometimes foods are, and what never foods are. And so we teach diet. So we teach biochemical modulation through supplements, through detox, through food. Okay, so that's something that we really want people to grasp hold of. I'm constantly amazed at the confusion out there around how to read labels and how to understand what is real food and how the body is performing. So, let us teach you, let us help you, let us serve you. And when you get it, you'll be able to pass this information along to your friends, family, loved ones. You'll be able to tell them to come over and get the same level of education so that now, you're not the odd man out that is a food Nazi or a foodie. And I don't really call them that. I call them the food educated. When you're educated around food, you know what poison looks like, and then you just stop doing it. And so I want you to not be the odd man out, but instead be the trim tab on the ship. I want you to be the rudder that drives people to become more aware that they are in control of their health. And that they don't have to suffer with ailments like headaches or migraines or high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or skin problems, or sleep issues, or anxiety, or depression, or joint pains, or whatever symptom pattern that you're dealing with. Most of the time, these symptom patterns you were not genetically born with, which means what? That means that you can undevelop it. So if you can develop it, you can undevelop it. And we want to teach you how to do that. And then we come in with the Detox Center as a means of creating a space for your body to do the healing and the therapy necessary, whether it's detox, whether it's rest and relaxation, whether it's muscle relaxation through our Hydra Bed massage, or just checking out for a bit in the saunas or in the foot bathroom. I have a lady that comes in, a real stressful job, and she comes in every 3 weeks, and she's I'll walk past the detox room, and she's just in there chilling and just doing light therapy. She's got her feet submerged in the detox water, and we're pulling trash out of her. Now we're massaging her back while that's happening, and I'm just telling you, it's amazing to see the people that integrate this stuff, how radiant their skin is, how energetic they are, how positive they are. Because when you're full of toxins, you're going to be a little bit, grumpy, because you feel grumpy. You feel tired and sluggish. And when you're pushing yourself to get through your day, you just don't feel like interacting with a ton of people all the time, And I want to see if we can tap into the joy that, is like a wellspring of life that the Bible talks about, that we get from the Lord to just spring forth, right? And that we can live vibrantly all the days of our life with, maximal longevity. Let's live long, let's be productive and powerful in everything that we do, and let's let Living Well be a number one health and wellness resource for you and your family. That's why we're here. So we just encourage you to give us a call, 281-554-8600, or visit our website at justlivewell.com. And then, of course, subscribe to our podcast, and get, busy listening. And the more you listen, the more you press play, the more you tap into this information, the better it's going to begin to saturate down into your tissues. And if you have questions, direct questions, if you've never been to the office, we've got some cool programs where you can come in for a free 15-minute consult with one of our nutritionists to kind of get your feet wet and figure out if you think this might be a path that you would like to go down. And when you come into the office, no matter who you see in our office, whether it's Dr. Amber I, or whether it's Jennifer or Molly or Greg, what we know is that we all are collaborating and talking about cases, and we're going to help everybody make sure that you get off and running on the right step and get down and dirty in your health and clean what you need to clean up early so that your body will, thrive later. So I'm just, excited to be a part of your world in any way that you'll let us. And we look forward to everything that we get to do together on the show and what we get to do together live one-on-one with you each and every week when we get to see you. So God bless you today. Have a fantastic one.